Okay, so today I wanted to revisit something that I often revisit here on the channel, and that is self-care. Now, for some people, self-care differentiates. Some people, they consider material things part of their self-care, or, sometimes it's just having something that you love around you, and that's the kind of self-care that I kind of attach myself to. So up until probably a couple of years ago, I really didn't practice self-care because honestly I knew about my mental health issues, but I didn't kind of take care of it. And that's like a lot of people are afraid to express their mental health issues to other people and other people that are around them. But in time, you start to realize, hey, if I don't take care of myself, who is? So what I started doing for myself in self-care is just little things that you probably wouldn't obviously always hear from, I guess, I don't want to say black, but African-American gentlemen like myself. But for me, self-care is pretty much the same things that a lot of women do for self-care as well, like different facial treatments with masks and baths and bath bombs. Yes, I do appreciate a good bath bomb. I don't care. I'm a 29-year-old man. I still get in the bathtub because my body hurts, and a shower is not going to completely take all of that pain away from me, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. A few years ago, for my first Father's Day, Lush, and this is why I will always love Lush, my mom went in there on Father's Day. She was going to get me some different bath bombs because it's a place that me and her shop at. I get bath bombs from there. I get different scrubs, and their scrubs actually help me a lot. If anybody knows me from when I was in high school or even early college, I had a really bad acne problem. And I used the one that was called Mask of Magnanimity. I believe I pronounced it right. I'm not sure, but I'll leave a link to that in the description. But you can walk into any Lush if they have it, because sometimes in different seasons they don't always have everything the same time of year. But it's for oily skin, and I sweat a lot, and that was probably the cause of most of my acne issues, with sweat and pores, basically being clogged 24/7. And the more I use it maybe about a good 5 or 6 times within the first couple of weeks of having it, and I can see a difference, and it helped clear my skin up a lot. I still get random breakouts, but a lot of that is, like I say, still heat related or sweat related, and it's a different thing. But back to the thing that I was talking about before I got on that little tangent. What Lush did, my mom went in, she went to go purchase me some things for Father's Day that she didn't tell me she was going in there for. And what they did, they made me a little grab bag. And in that grab bag, there was some shampoo, a couple of dad bath bombs, and a little card just saying happy first Father's Day, and they charged her nothing at all for it. And that is why I will always go to the Lush in Columbia, Maryland, at the mall in Columbia, because they always take care of their customers. Ever since I walked in there for the first time by myself when I was probably around 25, 26, and I looked confused as hell because I was the only guy in there, and they just made me feel like home. And even though the staff has changed, the culture there has not, and I do appreciate them for always taking care of me as a customer, and also not being afraid to help me when I kind of look lost anytime I go in there. But another thing I do for self-care, like I mentioned earlier, were like the different they're masks, like they're the things that you'll just put over your face. It's not like the stuff I was explaining from Lush, but they're like I guess they get the oil out of your skin, And I get those from Target, and Target has those. I cannot think of the brand right now, Space, and I should have this stuff, but I'll leave a link to what they are, and I'll actually have a little bubble down here that'll tell you what they're called and who they're made by. But those masks, they run about, I don't know, they're like $2.99, somewhere around in that area, but they have different types for different skin, and you know, it's no shame in saying that you want to take care of your body, take care of your skin, because if you don't, it's gonna fail you, and you're gonna look old before you want to. And I even had a customer at my job today tell me that I don't look like I'm 29. I didn't get the I look like I'm 12 that my friend did, but hey, I'll take it. But yeah, so another thing that I do for my self-care is reading. And it's not really, well, it's an activity that I enjoy, because the way I've always approached self-care is taking care of your mind, body, and soul. And for my mind, I do a lot of reading. I do more now than I did when I was probably in my late teens to early 20s. And I do it now to get back what I thought I was losing. And lately I've been reading a lot of biographies. I just read Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s biography, Racing to the Finish. That was basically about his battle with concussions, and that ultimately pretty much led him to retire probably a lot earlier than he wanted to, just because he was scared. To me, what I took from him was that he was racing scared, because he was afraid anytime that he hit his head or he jarred himself in the car, he stood a chance to do something where it would bring back those concussion-like symptoms. And it was a great read. It was something that I had been wanting to read since the book came out last year, and I'm glad I got a chance to read it. I also picked up a book on past life regression, and another book on anxiety through grief. And like I've explained on this channel a lot, I dealt with a lot of grief, or I guess I didn't deal with a lot of grief when my grandparents died in 2017, or 2016 and 2017. And when I didn't do that, I kind of suppressed everything. And then with everything that happened within 2017, flowing into 2018, I finally ended up on anxiety meds. I've said this in several of my videos. But I've always wondered about the correlation between anxiety and grief, because I'm adamant that I had never grieved. Like, I had, maybe 5 minutes to grieve when my grandfather passed away, because the night before his funeral, my daughter Dolores was born. And when that happened, and that whole year, and probably into 2018, I just was suffering, and I couldn't stand myself. And that's when I kind of took what we're talking about here with the self-care. I started taking that a little bit more serious, because if I didn't take care of myself, I wasn't going to be there 10, 20 years down the line when my daughter's going to need me. I know these are the important years now, ages probably 1 to 5, but, for me, it's a longevity thing. I don't want to just be there now. I want to be there at the end for her. Like, I want to be everything that she needs as a father. And if I'm not taking care of myself, my mental health, my spiritual health, my, my just overall physical health, I can't do it. I can't be that person that I want to be for her. And, my schedule for my self-care, I do it 2 Sundays out of the month, which basically the other Sundays I do spend with my daughter and her mother, and basically we just chill out, whether it's we're going to get something to eat, or we're just relaxing at home and playing, little things and cognitive things to help her grow. I don't mind doing that. That's self-care for me, because I'm sitting there with her and watching her grow and get better and smarter. And then the other 2 Sundays, it's normally just me, a comfy pair of pants, comfy pair of PJs or, jogging pants, and maybe my favorite sports. The football season's getting ready to start up. I watch NASCAR, if you didn't know it or not already, but what I do is basically just chill out, and I take myself away from it because I know that on Sundays, and even sometimes when I have to do it on Saturday, I know that the work week is coming, and unless I have that Monday off, I don't want to bring any of the stress from the prior week into the next week. That's one thing that I always try to let go of everything that made me mad or upset me the week before, and don't transfer it into that Monday through Friday of that week. And then it just, resets the counter each week. Whether the counter gets all the way to 100 by Friday, it'll get back to 1 on Monday, because what happened last week is last week, and that's the important thing. And I think that's another thing about mental health too. You kind of got to take that to that. You cannot take every issue that you've had and say, okay, I'm just going to keep letting this get at me. I'm going to keep letting this bite at me and things like that. Because if you do, you're gonna hate yourself, and you're gonna hate the things that make you happy, and it's gonna pour over into your relationships, your family life, and that's not something that you really want to do. Yeah, before we get out of here, just want to tell everybody thank you for watching. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're growing as a channel. We don't have that many followers. I don't care. Right now I'm just recording videos because it makes me happy, and when I think of something to record, I will think of it. Oh well, I'll record it. Jeez. Anyway, give me some songs that you think would be nice for a opening, because we need to get an opening that isn't just a little black card. But I don't know. For this one, I think I'm going to try my little, hopefully you like this intro, because it was good. To me, I think it was good, but we'll see. But anyway, if you like it, just give it a thumbs up. If not, just tell me in the comments what song you want to hear. So anyway, I will see you guys when I see you.